Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to a, oh, this is not showing up at all. Hang on. We're having a problem.
What's up?
I think people can hear me, but it's not showing me. I think there's a problem with the plug it and plug it back. Everyone who's watching, let's see. It's not showing up there. Hey folks, we're having technical problems, mostly because we weren't expecting to do this today.
Want to just try to switch out the game link?
Let's do it.
If that doesn't work, I'll unplug back here too.
Okay, now it's showing up. Oh, now it's there. Hey, that's not, I wonder it might be the camera. All right, folks. Well, let's see if the sound is not great. Let's switch. Better sound. There we go. Q&A time. All right. Yay. Let me make sure. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Q&A. That was an exciting intro there. All right, so actually most of you were probably tuning in at this point in time to watch us get tattooed, but we got a note from the tattoo artist that his son was sick and he's not gonna be able to make it until 3:30 today. So now my torture is delayed till 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is 4.5 hours from now. So we'll be back and do it then at that time. So there you go. I was gonna do Q&A later on in the afternoon, at some point after the tattooing was done, to tell you how it felt, but now I'm just here beforehand talking about it. Look, I'm even wearing a short sleeve shirt for preparation. Okay, so the sound is low. All right, sorry about that. It shouldn't be low. I'll move this up a little bit. All right, if you have any questions, this is a Q&A, and I'll try to answer some questions for you all. I see there's 100 some people here. All right, there we go. Let's see. Hey, Tom, seeing you play Vagrant Song at the retreat, you plan on doing your own review of it alongside Aziz. Would like to hear your thoughts on it as well. I'm definitely going to talk about it. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a full review of the game, if I'm going to add it into like a short overview thoughts of it. I will talk about it somewhere, someplace. What do I want for Christmas? That's an interesting question. I gave my wife a few things I was looking for, but I don't really have any. It's no joke. I don't really have any super strong desires in this regard. People can give me like gifts. Like my kids buy me like beef jerky. I like unique beef jerky and unique hot sauces and snacks and spices and hats and ties. You know, crazy socks, things like that. That's usually what I kind of point my kids towards. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Heather. Top 5 Euro games to give people for the holiday. We have done a, we did a Christmas list, the 12 games of Christmas. Search for that and you'll find those things. Good luck from the Rathscour's teams. Thank you. Since both Dice Tower retreats are so big, can we expect an expansion, maybe Dice Tower Texas? There will not be a Dice Tower Texas, not in any time in the near future. How small is too small? Mini for you? I don't know. That's an odd answer. I don't know. I plan to mix all my Dixit and Mysterium cards like you did when I get my Dice Tower sleeves. What type of box do you use for storage with the cards in the library? I just grabbed the box. I honestly don't remember what the box is. So I just picked a box that seemed to fit everything. Have you watched the Riot Games show Arcane? I have no idea what that question means. You need to clarify it. Will the chief also be getting a tattoo today? He can't get a tattoo. The chief has undergone that therapy, which means tattoos they cannot be put on his skin. They'll disappear, or bigger problems occur. And we've already fought the tattoo wars eons ago. I don't want to go through that again. What was the highlight of BGG-Con? Just meeting people and saying hi to them. Will the Dice Tower have any representation at PAX Unplugged? Yes, Eric Lang will be there. Matthew Bakek and Tim Meltvier, who runs Dice Tower West, will be there. The backstory in a tattoo deal. Roy and Mike were talking a long time about getting their dice guy, and I've been telling Laura for a long time, that's my wife, that I was like, maybe I'll get the Dice Tower. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. And I've been saying that for a few years now. And then when they told me their idea, I was like, hey, let's make it a stretch goal. That would kind of put the impetus on me to get it done. I'm not thrilled about getting one, but I was already thinking about getting it. So I'm willing to do it. It was my idea. I want to be clear. Some people are like, oh, you're being coerced to do it. No, I'm not. I don't do anything I don't want to do. I mean, well, I do, but that's like taxes and things like that. I know even less, Josh, now that you've written this. I don't know anything about what we're talking here. I'm really confused. Who's Arcane? What's Rogue-like expansion? Legends of Runeterra? I apologize. I'm really lost. When driving a car, do you tend to listen to audiobooks? No, I just listen to podcasts and or music. I have not played the Guardians of the Galaxy video game. I take ibuprofen before. I think it's called Advil. I think ibuprofen and Advil, they're all the same to me. None of them mean anything different to me. Do we do a Secret Santa exchange of some kind? We did a couple years ago. Bonacor and everyone else who came to the Dice Tower, we did one. It was fun. Have I ever been to Korea? I lived there for 10 years, yes. When's the next Top 100? It's in January. Netflix has a new show called Arcane on Netflix, which is an animated show based on their League of Legends IP. Well, that explains a whole lot. I know nothing about it, so I cannot answer any of it. Sorry. Have you watched the Queen's Gambit series? Yes. It was okay. I liked the first episode a lot. A lot. The first episode was really good. I'm not a huge fan of watching people who are somewhat self-destructive for a long time, so some of the rest of it wasn't as interesting to me. It had an interesting finale and all. You know, it's kind of a feel-good series to the end, but I'm not a fan of this, you know, like, oh, I'm in this relationship. Nah, it's no good. This relation, nah, it's no good. That stuff doesn't interest me much. Can't find your game, Nothing Personal. Can you guide me to find a copy? It's probably sold on eBay for very low pricing. My brother really loves board games, but he's starting to lose his eyesight. Are there board games that vision is not necessary? There are a few, but not a tremendous amount of them. We used to have Brian, who had that same problem on our show, who would talk about it on the podcast show, where he did segments on that. Do you think Detective Club works with Dixit cards? I do. What's a new recipe you're excited to make for this Thanksgiving? I don't think I'm making a new recipe for this Thanksgiving. Let me think. I mean, I'm messing with my cranberry sauce. I do that every year. But I believe everything that I'm making, I've made before at some point. We're having Thanksgiving here at the studio, and it's a new oven. It's a kitchen that won't be stocked. Like, I'm bringing everything from home for this purpose. So I really, I'm I'm hesitant to try too many new things. Did I say Eric Lang? I meant Eric Summer. If I said Eric Lang, I meant Eric Summer. Sorry. Have you watched the Wheel of Time show yet? I did. I watched the first episode of it. So it's interesting. I watched it. My family doesn't know anything about Wheel of Time, so I'm trying to gauge their reaction as opposed to my reaction because I've seen the book. And, you know, then immediately I'm like, wait, parents married? Wait, Ran and Egwene really like each other at the beginning? And wait, the dragon could be male or female, which doesn't really make any sense in the context of the story. But I'm going to watch episode 2, so I haven't been turned off yet. I'm withholding judgment for now. I do think they nailed some of the characters, Moraine and Lan particularly. They nailed them. They are like exactly almost how I imagined them. I'm still holding judgment on the young people, mostly because they're kind of spread out, their characterization of them, so I like to see how they transform. Are you going to review the new version of Hero Quest? You know, I'd like to, but I don't have it. I'm actually going to look at that. This was shipped to me like 2 weeks ago, and I don't know why. November 4th, this was shipped to me. I'm going to see, like, it's on its way. November 12th. Why don't I have it yet? Let me check FedEx tracking number. Detailed tracker. It's awaiting additional information from recipient. Why don't I have it yet? It's very annoying. It says it needs a signature, but goodness. I don't know how to. So I went in here to try to do a direct signature there, but people have been home for a long time. Then when I do delivery instructions, now I have to log in or register. Such a pain in the neck. Just bring me my package. Let's see. Which Marvel character would you like to see get their own MCU movie? Iceman and Wolverine and Beast. And yeah, come on now. Where's the X-Men? Bring them in. Are you in full Kickstarter swing yet? Unfortunately, yes. There's a lot to do to prep for Kickstarter. Do you have the top 10 book near you? I do not. We moved a lot of stuff out of the studio here in preparation for the tattooing. That I then had to move some of it back in because it's not happening until later. I went to Korea to teach. This is a much longer, more detailed answer, so I think you can find it in History of the Dice Tower videos. I can only speak a very little Korean. Are there any board games that you made a tradition of playing over the holidays? No. If not, and you'd like to make a tradition? No. I just like playing games. I don't need the traditions of any particular one. I only watched the first Foundation. I watched the first Foundation episode, which was fine, and I watched part of the second, and I got a little distracted because it just was not Foundation, really. It's like Foundation adjacent, at least the second episode. I just won Cosmic Encounter. Me and Ron Frazier won as a duo team at Dice Tower Retreat. That was great. What are my favorite Thanksgiving traditions? Just eating food is mostly it. There's a lot of questions that I'm skipping, folks. If you've never been here before, I don't answer every question. Sometimes because I don't know enough about the topic you're talking about. I almost never answer what do I think of a particular game because I review the games. I might answer it if I'm not going to review it or something. And also, I've answered the what theme needs to be made into a board game, what IP should be made into a board game, and what old board game should be reprinted. That's been asked hundreds and hundreds of times. And so while this might be your first time, and I appreciate that, sometimes I skip them, and I'll answer that like every 10 episodes in case it is someone's first episode. Do I own a Stetson? I don't think I do, actually. I love playing virtual pinball, big screen TV, laying down as the main play area. I never played that. I don't know. I played on my iPad. I like it on my iPad a lot, but I never played one. But the big screen TV, that's interesting. That would be kind of fun. Huh. If there was a machine like that that could hold like hundreds of games, I would try to get something like that and stick it in my house. As a Wheel of Time series fan, you might like Tad Williams' Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. World creation, storylines, and characters are quite engaging. Doesn't fall off like Wheel of Time. Well, I thought Wheel of Time came back around the curve at the end, so there's that. Let's see here. Oh, we're missing it to Werewolf Facebook group. Any chance of moderating a game with some of the roles of the new version? I've been so very busy, folks, and I'm really sorry about that. I do plan to come back in and run one, but I've just been exhausted and time-wise, I'm very little time at this point in time. Sorry. And I should sit up because that didn't look so good. I did not finish Betrayal Legacy with my kids because we just are playing other things right now. Right now, me and the kids are playing through role-player adventures together. How do you listen to music? Do you ever pay for using anymore? So I use Spotify, and I pay Spotify. I mean, it's a monthly payment. I'm not pirating music or anything. I just use Spotify to listen to music. And if it's not on Spotify, I go, meh, I guess it's not worth listening to. There's millions of songs on Spotify. I'm not bored. There's often discussion on BGG about how people rate the games they played or haven't. Is your opinion of a game colored sometimes by the rating it has on Board Game Geek? I don't think so. I mean, I will say that as a human being, I tend to be naturally, you go into a game that's very positive. Everyone's like, this game's amazing. And I'm like, prove it. Or if everyone says, this game's terrible, I'm like, well, we'll see. There's a little bit of that in a human being. But other than that, no. Is Raccoon Tycoon the reason Stockpile dropped off your top 100? I don't think any particular games, unless I specifically say so. It's just that I put all my games in order and then some games fall off. Again, the top 100, folks, it's got to be by very nature somewhat of a mobile, fluid thing. My tastes change, but also being in that, I just did a series this year called 5 More Great Games where I went through 101 to 200. That's a lot of games that are great, and there's still the next 100 are great, and the 100 after that are great. I'd play any game in my top 1,000. Pandemic Fall Realm was on the awesomely upgrade list. Oh, I changed all the cubes to little wooden dudes that instead of cubes. Mob Psycho 100. It's based on the work of the same guy who did One Punch Man. I've not heard of it. How much pizza is too much pizza? When you try to eat a piece of it and you're like, I'm full, then you shouldn't eat anymore. When will the Kickstarter stuff ship? I can't give you an exact date on that. They've sent me, so the packing company has sent me samples, the shipping company, We're going to get those samples in the studio. They should show up this week. As soon as we approve them, we'll be like, check. Then they're going to start collating everything because all the promo packs have to be collated. Then they'll start shipping. I don't know when that will be. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Planning any more History of the Dice Tower videos? Yeah, in about 2-3 years. I like to look at things from a broader perspective rather than right after it's happened. Any update on Magical Athlete reprint? No. If you had to fight one mythological creature, which one would you pick? A dormouse? Am I worried about the religious implications of your tattoo? I'm just getting a tattoo that's about the Dice Tower. That's it. I don't think it has anything to do with religion. You've been doing so many behind-the-scenes videos recently, but never really showed camera setups. What's your favorite camera to use? I don't have a favorite camera in particular. We're using a Panasonic camera here, and up there that's a Linux camera. And then we use the iPhones too, and we've used Canon in the past, but I don't know that I specifically have a favorite camera. I'll be doing one of those behind-the-scenes videos soon too. How do you handle the YouTube grind when the days get long? I don't know, I just do my job. Yeah, sometimes it's long. Today is going to be a very long day. Tomorrow is going to be a very long day. But it is what it is. What reveal have I got the most flack for? Well, I got a lot of flack as the years went by over Eric Lang's game. What is that game called? It's about the Warhammer universe. I don't know why this game is skipping my mind, but I'm going to just look it up. Chaos in the Old World. So Chaos in the Old World, at one point in the game, I said, I like the game, it's fine, but I thought the theme was very dark. I didn't like that the board was supposedly on stretched human skin, and you're all playing evil people. It just wasn't real. That theme didn't really do anything for me. And oh my word, people said I hated the game, I disliked the game, because I was a Christian and yada yada. I'm like, I think if I wasn't a Christian, I would still not want to play a game on stretched human skin. Maybe that's just me. So that one I got a lot of flack for. There's a constant surge every time I'm harsh on any game. So especially if it's a Kickstarter game, then the Kickstarter people come after me in full force. But yeah, that's usually when it happens. You know what? It's always on a negative review. No one ever's like, oh, Tom loved this game, and oh man, it's not as good as he said. That never happens. I heard you finally went to Brahms ice cream. It was great. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. It was like, I felt like I was stealing the ice cream. $2.99 for like a full big giant sundae? That's crazy cheap. A full-on simulator, it's a pinball cabinet with a screen and computer inside. Yeah, I probably don't need to know about it because then I'll end up buying it. I have not seen a new Bond movie. If I could jump into a pool of unpeeled fruits, would you? I don't think so. It feels gross. What did you found is the best way to teach a game? You teach it, have everyone else watch a video on how to play, or everyone try to read the rules? No. Best way to teach a game is for me to teach it. That's in my opinion, obviously. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of games I teach from the rule book because I'm learning them on the fly. I do that because I'm wanting to learn new games. I don't think that's the best way to teach. And I would say that when I teach people those games, it's not as good as when I teach a game I know. But when a game I know, I want you to pay attention. I'm going to teach the game, and hopefully we get it all from there. We'll have new key lime pie flavors for Thanksgiving. 1, we're going to have apple caramel key lime pie. So I got apple caramel, watermelon chocolate chip. I think I got a normal key lime pie. I can't remember. And then I got, no, I didn't get a normal one. I got a eggnog one, holiday themed one. And then I got I think I got the white chocolate raspberry, I think. Is there a way to find out when a game will be back in stock reprinted? Nope. Your best shot is just to go pre-order on the website. When it comes in, it comes in. Ola Tom says, Pete Shirey, hope all is well. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Pete. Your caps key is stuck. Tom, why is all the video equipment like the TV on portable tables? Maybe because I'm klutzy, but I find that distressing and behind the scenes. You mean like why is it? So like for example, there's all of our equipment right there is on a white table. That's, I guess you're saying portable because you can fold up the table and put it away, as opposed to a solid wooden table. But those tables are pretty sturdy. I mean, it's on a rug. It doesn't move. So I don't know why I wouldn't do that. I'm not buying some fancy wooden table just to do that. I guess I don't understand that question. I mean, that's a pretty solid table. Also, we're trying not to trip and fall backwards over cords and everything. If we do that, we're going to have problems no matter what. Cameras are on tripods. There's wires all over this room. There's wires all over the floor here. It's going to happen. Thanks for the nice words. Are mullets cool to you? No. Any plans for Christmas this year? Yes. What's your black German Shepherd's name? Don't worry, I'm not trying to harvest your login passwords. Don't worry, I don't use this one as any login password for anything for that reason. But Fuzzy. Fuzzy is our black German Shepherd's name. Do you think that a person who has hundreds of games and buys them, just buying them and buys them and doesn't open any, might be dealing with an unhealthy addiction? I do think that, yes. After a Dice Tower event, do you and the team, if you hear my stomach rumbling, I'm sorry. I'm hungry, I think. Do you and the team discuss what could have been done differently? I assume it's like planning a wedding. Everyone has fun, but you see all the little issues. Yes, we always do. We always sit there and say, what's this, and this, and this, and this. You know, what can we do differently? What can we do better? It's good to have that downtime and think about things. How well do you think you would fare in the zombie apocalypse? Well, it depends. If they're normal zombies, you know, the ones that, you know, the slow walking ones, I think I'd be fine. I think I would. I also don't think humans would be as trash to each other as they are in zombie apocalypse. They're always murdering each other, betraying each other, throwing each other out. But I do think that I would likely build my own commune for a while and be pretty strict about things. I've often daydreamed about, all right, this is what we're going to do in the case of a zombie apocalypse. Me and Roy already have it figured out. We're hitting, you know, of course we laugh about it because it's not real, but we load up the families and we're heading to the nearest distribution center, probably one of Amazon's or a food distribution center. Those places would be pretty easy to hold off from zombies, and they're going to have a ton of food and stuff in them. So that's probably where we would hold up. But yes, also I'm very worried about a zombie apocalypse. Who does the cooking in your marriage? Spicy question. My wife does the majority of it. I cook for holidays. Oh, chaos in the old world, says everybody. Culling a board game collection is a real pain for me. Any advice on how to deal with getting new games and not having enough space to keep older games? You just got to do it. Actually, I have a video I just recorded showing me taking games, adding them to the Dice Tower library, and getting rid of games that are in their place. It's a short video. I just thought you might be interested in seeing my thought process. It's kind of a stream of consciousness for that. I'll give you flack for Space Base. Not as good as you said. Oh no! Yeah, but see, that's like the meanest thing you said. When you don't like a game, people are really mad about it. Any board game personalities you haven't met in person but would love to? I'm sure there's people. Oh, excuse me. I'm sure there's people that I would like to meet that I have not met, but I don't know that it's technically any. I don't know if there's anyone I'm like, oh, I wish I could meet this person. I just meet people when I can meet them. Oh, more flack for a positive review. Pool party sucks. Okay. You guys are not trying hard enough. What topping absolutely ruins pizza? Probably snot. I think snot would do it. My boyfriend asks if you can put a moving object on screen. It gets nerve when you read a question and sort of freeze. He always thinks that the video froze and stands up to reset it. That is, I mean, that'd be weird if that happened too often. All right, so you seem so confident. Have you ever had to focus on improving your self-esteem? If I ever am confident, I act confident. That doesn't always mean I am confident. I'm often very scared and afraid in different situations. But myself is last. I try to, well, it should be last. If I have any confidence, well, this is going to get into my personal, so realize that. But I'm a Christian, and I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me. That is a philosophy that I live my life by. And so if there's confidence, hopefully that's where it comes from, and not a misplaced confidence in this foolish body, bad personality, whatever else. Are you really getting a tattoo? Yes. Wouldn't guess you'd be the type. That's right. Those tattooed cretins. That was probably once more of a thing. Nowadays, it is not a thing. Hey, let's pause here in the middle. Loopy didn't remind me, but let's do a contest for a $10 Game Nerd certificate. So actually, I just had a chance when I was in Dallas. I went to where Game Nerd's headquarters is. I was able to swing in there, see their operation, spend some time talking to them. It was very exciting. They're a fantastic thing. They have so many cool games that they're going to ship to you, and you can get a $10 gift certificate from them. To enter this contest, you simply need to email us at contest@dicetower.com. We'll pick one lucky winner who puts in the subject line the word turkey. Why turkey? Because you're a turkey if you don't shop at Game Nerds. Well, no, not really, but turkey we're eating this week. I'm making 4 of them. Well, I'm making 3. Lars, we're going to put a turkey, we're going to brine 1 turkey, and then she's going to bake that turkey, and then I'm going to fry 3 of them. I'm already planning. I'm super excited about this. I'm making a cherry jalapeno infused turkey. Never tried that before. Well, there you go. That's my thing I've never done before. It took me a while for me to realize how many additional files are available on BGG to help teach, organize, etc. per game. Do you ever add supplemental aids and guides to library games? I do add those, but not a ton, but I look for good ones, and if they're good, I'll add them to games, especially games that need them. My advice, if you're playing a big Cosmic Encounter game for the first time, is to make sure you run it. I mean, you say, okay, it's your turn, we do this. Okay, it's this. What do you guys, just keep things flowing. This needs a, Cosmic Encounter runs really well with a game master. How early is too early for Christmas decorations? I don't care. You can put them up like 10 months before Christmas for all I care. I don't see why everyone's always so anti this. It's very Scrooge-ish, I find. People are like, no, Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving. Okay, I guess. I don't care when they go up. It's like, it's earlier every year. Okay, I don't see why that matters. What does it matter? It doesn't hurt you. Christmas decorations are super pretty. Everyone really likes them. And yet, people are like, wow, you should decorate for Thanksgiving. Oh my word, have you seen Thanksgiving decorations? They're boring. There's some okay ones, but where's my Thanksgiving lights? There is not Thanksgiving lights. There's a few Halloween lights. There's no other lights out the rest of the year. I wish there was a holiday all the time where we could see lights and drive at night and see the lights on houses. I love that. So, who cares? And people leave them up afterwards, don't care. It looks nice. Again, I don't know, you're driving down the street, I'm like, those people have their lights on. I hate them. Alrighty, let's see here. Do you like fruit in your cranberry sauce? Oh, I always add something extra in. This year I'm adding in raspberries and blackberries. Chopped up, of course, so that they're not distracting. You don't want them to be distracting, but I always add something. I like cranberries a lot. But I like my cranberry juice and my cranberry sauce to have something else to zing it. So in the past years, last year I believe I did cranberry guanabana. The year before that I did cranberry with dried apricots in it, which was quite good. And I also did dried cherries. I've done cranberry raspberry before. I know that one works. That's why I'm doing it this year. I was thinking about doing cranberry. What was I going to mix with it? I debated doing a little bit of kiwi in the cranberry, but I don't know if that combo will work as well. Lots of people are saying very nice thank yous, and I appreciate that. As a longtime watcher, I make the live Q&As as frequently as possible and ask tons of Qs. Do you ever recognize our names? Yes, I do. But we recognize a lot of people who are regular in our live things. Is it possible for a designer to release a new expansion for an old game? That sort of thing is possible. But you know what? After a game's been out for a while, like so for me with nothing personal, if I was going to go back and design, I might sit there and go, I'll just redesign the whole game. That's where my thinking would go. That unicorn milkshake picture of you looked bomb. It was amazing. There was cotton candy in that milkshake. I love that milkshake. It was not milkshake, by the way. It was an ice cream sundae. Roy had a milkshake. Mine was an ice cream sundae. It was at the milkshake bar. Oh, what was it called? Definitely wrote it down. Let's see here. The Yard. The Yard. It was great. The Yard. Did War Room get at this retreat? Nope. Although I did see someone pull out War Room at BGG Con this week, but no one was playing with them, but maybe they did play it after I left. But I did see someone setting that up, so it happens. Wife and I are planning to go to Daystar East next year. We can't go to all the days. Better to miss the first day or the last day. I would say for every con in existence, you're better off missing the last day rather than the first day. That being said, that might be different for Gen Con if you're looking for deals, because you might find those on the last day. But likely, you're better off. Will there ever be a Dice Tower convention in the Northeast, New York, Vermont, Michigan? Don't know. Probably not. We are so swamped with the ones we're running already. Also, all our conventions went to zero. Everything is being rebooted this year. The retreat was rebooted this year. Next year, Dice Tower West comes back after missing a year. Dice Tower East comes back after missing 2 years. So we have to rebuild everything. And 4 of those a year, we got the cruise, Dice Tower East, Dice Tower West, and the retreat. is a lot. At best, you'll get 2 retreats. No more big cons being run. We can't run them. I can't afford. I spend so much time, folks, in meetings with the different people running conventions. I hate meetings. I despise meetings with every core of my being. But I got to do this, and I have to spend a ton of time each event. Even though the people running my events are fantastic, there's a lot of ways I'm involved with them. It is exhausting. To do more would be very difficult for me. Could I do my list of what if episodes? You mean ranking them? I don't know. Maybe. I'd have to go look at them all. Any updates on Table and Kingdom Death Monster? Well, that's going to be another time thing. We don't have the miniatures back yet, but somebody took the miniatures and put them together, and they're sending them to me and painted them, I think. But they're not here yet. They're probably showing up this week. But then we have to go around and do that. Have you played the new Magic the Gathering expansion? I did not, actually. What's my favorite niche podcast? I believe that's what's called a leading question. But, green. Favorite 2-color combo? Green and something else. I'll pick a green-red I like a lot. Green, white is fine. Green-black's okay. Green-blue, I'm less interested. Blue, I just feel bad about playing blue because blue's a jerk color. I dislike playing blue more than any other color because it's jerky. To me, it's no fun to be like, woo, and your opponent's like, no. That's not fun always. Why so much turkey? That's a good question. Well, we're having a lot of people over, and I like turkey. But the fact is, I like turkey. And I want to eat turkey for the next 3 or 4 weeks. You know, people always complain about having leftover turkey. Not ever from me. In fact, ours doesn't even usually last because we're putting turkey in chili. We're putting turkey on sandwiches. We're putting turkey in casseroles. We're just eating turkey from the, I love turkey. I don't particularly like cold turkey. I went cold turkey on that. But it's easy to heat up. I really like turkey. And so when you fry turkey, you use a lot of oil, and you can reuse it. I don't like reusing it. But what I do is I fry a bunch at one time so to be as economical with that oil as possible. Have you ever thought about doing a board game donation program for giving games to kids and families, kind of like Dolly Parton's free book charity? The Spiel is a podcast. They already do that. So they're the ones that I would work with to do that if I was going to. Going to start my brine today. I guess it is time to start the brine. Well, yeah, it's usually 24 hours is usually good enough. So we'll probably brine the turkey on tomorrow. Do you remember the last time someone in the immediate family asked for a board game for Christmas? I do not remember that. My kids do not ask for board games. Which Dice Tower crew member is the most hesitant to give a game a second chance after bouncing off? Me, probably. Who's the most lenient with a bad first impression? Chris. What's my favorite sandwich? It might be a Reuben, but a good hoagie is hard to beat too. Probably a hoagie over a Reuben, but I do like Reubens a lot. Simon's 50th Q&A got moved to noon today. What are you most curious about finding out potentially? I'll find out when I find out. Again, I watch the news the same as the rest of you. It is what it is. My state has a law that Christmas decorations need to come down by January 15th. Nothing says they can't go back up on the 16th. Well, sure, I do obey the laws, though. Thoughts on the giant Galactus from Seamont? Looks pretty cool. Wendy took it home to paint, although Chris says it's a very daunting task to paint that thing. Sure. I'm one of those weirdos who prefer the jelly cranberry sauce in the can to the fresh stuff. Are you sure? It's so much better fresh. Wow. I can't imagine that. I get it. I usually buy some for the kids, actually. But this year I didn't. I was like, you will get no fake cranberry sauce in our house. I grew up eating canned cranberry sauce and think it's better. Wonder what I think differently had I had the homemade first. I grew up eating the canned stuff too. And I just decided to make it on my own. First of all, it's one of the easiest things in the world to make. It feels like you are cheating making it. It's so easy. Like, I'm not a baker at all. I don't bake stuff. That's hard for me. I like cooking because cooking is a little less, to me, cooking has a little more wiggle room. You're like, add a pinch of this. Yeah, okay. You can't do that when you bake. You got to follow these things exactly. You can't be like, nah, some sugar. You know, well, I guess some people say they do that, but I can't. I couldn't do that. With cooking, you can be like, add some more. Throw some more in. You know, you can do that sort of thing. But but cranberry sauce is so simple to make. I blew my mind, and then I tasted it, and it was so good. So, I mean, if you like the canned stuff better, hooray! You have a easy life. There's lots of canned stuff out there. Do you think companies should employ a higher level of editing to reduce errors in Gamerata, even if it means delaying release? It's frustrating when a game costs over 100 and has multiple errors. I don't disagree, but I also think that people really underestimate how hard it is to catch errors. I was quality control for a print shop one time, and I was one step of the quality control, and errors still made it through. Tom, why are you not credited as designer at all on Nothing Personal Revised Edition? I'm sure there's enough of the old game to at least deserve a credit. There is a credit. It says that the game is based on original design by Tom Vasel. I asked for that when we negotiated what was happening with the second edition. And I said I wanted them to let the new designers of it do whatever they want without having to consult me. So I said, just take my name off the design. That was my ask. And put it in there as a design based on an original design by Tom Vasel. That way they could do whatever they wanted. I still got some credit, but it's their game. So anything you like about it, all credit goes to them. If you don't like new stuff from the new game, that goes to them too. So I didn't have any real input in the second edition. I have not watched Ghostbuster Afterlife. I've heard good things for it now. Oh no, don't feel bad about joking about these dice towers. I get it too. If I was a fan of any kind of show and they were going to do something, I would say, please do it near me, because of course that's what you want. I get that. I just explain it to people that we're not trying to slough off whole continents and whole things. It's just that the conventions are a ton of work. When's the grandbaby due? May of next year. Will someone paint the giant zombie Galactus you got? Well, Wendy's currently working on that, but it's not a zombie Galactus. It's a normal Galactus. We looked. I was blown away by the prize table in a recent video. How are they won? Well, they're not won. We call it a prize table. It's not really a prize table. It's an exchange table. Everybody comes in and puts a game in who wants to play. So we had 107 people or something like that. They all threw a game on the table. Now I threw another 100 games on that table, and some people didn't put just one on. They put multiples on. Everyone throws one in, then I take everyone's badges and I shuffle them up, and completely randomly we draw a name. You know it's random because Stephen Bonager's name was first, and I would not randomly do that. I would not non-randomly do that. But we call them out. When we get to the end, if there's any games left over, that person gets to 2 of them, and we just start coming back. So I talked to the person, for example, who went last this year, and they were happy. They said they got 2 games, they won it. Fantastic. So that's how it works. It's pretty simple. You just have to go in, and I say every year when I say it, if there's a game here that you really, really have your heart's desire on, then buy it. Don't come into the game exchange hoping to get it. I mean, I guess you can hope, but then don't get upset when you don't get it. I feel leftover turkey loses its value quickly. Maybe, but not for me. I love turkey. Do you or your wife come from big families? My wife is the oldest of 3, and I'm the oldest of 5. So now we have 7. I feel like we should have had 8. Well, we did, with Jack. How did Foundations of Rome become a Dice Tower essential? I get any time it was a small game you found, or Sheriff was an old game. Foundations, so that I'm going to simplify how Foundations came about, but there was a game that I found that I wanted to maybe make a Dice Tower essential, but the game needed a lot of work. I took this game, I said, you know what? Emerson Matsuchi's an amazing designer. Maybe he can make this work. We took it to him, and you know what? It just didn't work out. It didn't work out. The designer didn't really want the changes and things like that. And Emerson, though, said, while I was working on this, I came up with ideas for a completely different game. And he showed it to me, and that was Foundations of Rome. That's not what it was called at the time. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was called City Building Game A or whatever. And I loved it. I was like, yes, okay, great, let's do that. And that's how it came about. Now, how it went from that small little game to the gigantic Foundations of Rome, that's Arcane Wonders, who made it bigger and more grandiose. What foods does Pennsylvania do better than Florida? Sandwiches for sure. Potato salads, salads in general, coleslaw, you know, things like that. Pierogies, German food. That's things that Pennsylvania does better. Pies, oh my word, except for key limes. So Florida, seafood, oh my word, Florida makes amazing seafood. Cuban food, obviously. Mexican food down here is better for sure. Ethnic foods in general, I think, are better down here. But I think overall, if I'm picking a state for food, I'm picking Pennsylvania over Florida. But Florida still has a lot of great foods. See, there's a Mahjong set in the library. Have you ever played? No, but that was a beautiful set given to me from China, so I put it in the library. Where does your tummy fall on pumpkin cheesecake? You can leave that on the table. Pumpkin is just an okay flavor for me at best. What's the title of the video where you speak about culling a board game collection? It's not been posted yet. It's going up tomorrow, and I think I told Roy to call it something like "Kicking Games Out of the Library," something like that. I like the swoosh sound cranberry sauce makes when it slides out of the can. That, I guess. Are we ever going to see Pandemic Legacy Season 0? We reviewed that. If you mean the playthrough, we didn't record it. A lot of anti-cranberry people here. Who won the weight loss competition between you and the Podfather? I did barely. Who's winning now? None of your business. Let's see, a couple last things. a video for buy your own marble tracks from Woodfish. I'll have that for you at some point. It's not up yet. Where did this awesome Christmas Brontosaurus come from? That I do know. I got that at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby has amazing Christmas decorations. Almost all my Christmas decorations are from them. They're fantastic. But yeah, that was cool. I love Amish potato salad, says Nick. I agree. Gingerbread's better than pumpkin spice. Also agree. Oranges are better in Florida. Oh, that's true. The fruit down here is amazing. The fruit in Florida is great. Am I a fancy cheese at Thanksgiving person? I'm a cheese. Doesn't matter if it's fancy, not fancy. Cheese is cheese. Cheese is amazing. All right. Well, that's it, folks. Now, realize we're doing our best to make sure this tattoo thing happens. I hope it doesn't get pushed off to tomorrow, but it will be if we have to. But we are going to go over that. We're going to do that. That's been rescheduled to 3:30 today, so hopefully everything goes well there. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming by for a live Q&A. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Q&A on the Dice Tower.